Hello everybody and welcome back. We are here for week 47 of the Altered Index 2025 challenge. This is the challenge that I'm running here on my channel and also in my Facebook group, Nonstop Papercrafts. And as I said, we're on week 47. I cannot believe we are slowly marching towards the end. There'll be 52 cards in total, one for each week of the year. But yeah, week 47 already. Lots of people have been really enjoying this Altered Index. I've had a few people asking me what's going to be happening next year. Normally in December, I kind of do a wrap up of 2025 and letting people know what's happening in 2026. So I'll let you know in that video exactly what I'll be doing for next year. But there will be something coming. I'll give you that clue. So we're on week 47. Geometric shapes is the prompt for today. So I have got some different bits and pieces. So I've got some different punches. So I've got a square punch. I've got a circle punch for my geometric shapes. So geometry is obviously just shapes. I have got some stripes and some circle pattern on this side. I have just some dots on the other side. The main kind of paper that I was thinking of using was this one because it's got obviously lots of great colour on it. This one and the next page is from the same 12 by 12 paper pack. I wouldn't be able to tell you what the paper pack was called. I've literally just got some loose sheets left. I've had it for absolutely ages. I believe I brought it from the Works here in the UK. Like I said, I don't know what it's called anymore though. They are single-sided. They are a decent weight to them. I would say possibly 200 GSM. And then it has these bits on there as well. So it's clearly for some kind of planning thing. So these would obviously be bits that you cut out. But what I really liked on here was this heart with obviously all the triangular shapes within the inside. So I'm going to cut out that heart as well. I think I'm going to use this one for the base. I do quite like this one, so I'm going to use this one for the base. So obviously I need to cut this down to the side of my card. So I'm just going to mark it with a pen or pencil, whatever I can find first. It looks like it's going to be a pen. So I'm just going to do a little mark where I need to trim. So there and there. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer. But yeah, as I said, I bought this paper pad such a long time ago. I have no idea what it was called. I've had this for absolute years. I've slowly been working my way through it. And I thought I'd just use a bit more. I've literally probably only got about 4 pages left from the entire thing. So not many. So I'm just double checking. It's probably slightly taller, but that doesn't really matter. Right, okay, so I've got this as my base. Now I want to just gesso it a little bit just to kind of knock it back because it is obviously quite bright, and then when I start putting the other colours on it's just going to look a little bit garish. So I am going to add some gesso. So I'm just going to grab my mat, move those out the way, pop this down, let's move that card out the way and try and wrestle open my gesso. So this hasn't been opened in a long time, so it is a little bit stiff. It probably needs a bit of a water down actually, but we'll use it as is. So I'm using, it's just a dry brush. I don't want it like super wet anyway because I'm just going to sweep it along. Like I said, it's just to add a little bit of texture to it, but also just knock back some of this colour as well. So I don't want it on too thick. Doesn't matter obviously if it goes a bit thicker in certain places. I'm just going to move it up and just keep kind of sweeping backwards and forwards. And the nice thing about this, because I'm obviously doing very thin layers with a dry brush, it's going to dry very, 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 very quickly. Okay, so I think that will do for now. Okay, so it just knocks the colour back a teeny tiny bit. It doesn't have to be lots. Okay, so I will wash everything up once the video is finished. Okay, so now I've got that. While I let that dry very quickly, I am going to, like I said, I want to cut out this heart, and I also want to punch out my other shape. So I am going to be using this. So I'm going to punch the square. So I'm actually going to tip it up this way just so I can kind of see where I'm punching. I'm trying to see what colours I actually want. I think I'm going to go for this side. So I'm just going to line it up in the square and give it a punch. And there it is. Do you know what? I think just to make it a little bit thicker, I might double it up a little bit. Because this one's not from the same paper pad, so this one is a little bit thinner. So I'm actually going to do it twice so I can double it up just that little bit. So there's that one. And then I also, from the same one, want to do some circles. So again, I'm going to do this twice. So there's one. And there's two. Okay. So I think I'm going to stick these two together. Quite like that one. Okay, so a bit of glue on that one. Stick those together. Wonderful. And then I also want to stick these two together now, which is the one, I think I'll have that one on top. Okay, and then that one's going to go on there. It just makes them feel a little bit thicker. Okay, so that's those two. So I've got a square, I've got a circle, and then I want that heart. So let's just put the pin back in here. I'm going to grab my scissors. And now my cutting skills aren't fabulous, but I'm going to try and go around as best I can, as close to that gold as foiling as I can. We've had a massive temperature drop here in the UK. It's absolutely freezing, or certainly is where I am anyway. I'm in the Midlands and it's so cold at the moment. I've literally had like 2 pairs of trousers on, 3 layers of tops on, just because I knew I'd be outside for a lot of the day and I didn't want to be too freezing. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to do something like that. I don't know whether to make this square just a tinsy bit smaller. I think I'm just going to chop it down a little bit. Yeah, maybe, I don't know what size this is. So this is a 1.5 inch, so I might make this a 1.5 inch as well. And then it might actually look like it goes together a little bit better as well. So we can have our geometric shapes, or we could have them kind of stacked in a column. I do like some cheesecloth, so just to add a little bit of texture, I'm going to add some of this as well. But I do want a strip of it so that it can kind of go along the whole thing. Not sure if that's going to be enough. Let's try and do a bigger piece. I think I cut that a little bit too small. There we go, that's a bit better. That's the nice thing about cheesecloth is you can give it a nice big tug, make it all kind of textured. Really kind of pull apart those fibres. And do the same down the bottom. Lovely. Right. Let's get rid of those. Just going to pop some glue down the middle. Like so. And then just kind of lay this down. Right, now I do want my heart in the middle, so I'm going to stick that down first. Oops. So let's have that one about there. I'm just going to hold that in place because obviously the glue will go through the cheesecloth anyway. If not, I can always squirt a bit more under there. It just helps it hold everything down. And I was going to have my square at the top. Yep, so I'll have my square at the top. I don't want to make it like a diamond, no, because then it pokes out a bit too much. So I'm going to have a square. Square at the top, like so. And then I'm going to have this pattern down the bottom here. It's just an interesting way to add some different shapes onto the card. So we've got that one, that one, and that one. And I'll tell you what else I was going to do that I think I've forgotten, but I might still be able to do a little bit, is I've got this stamp which has different circles on. I was going to stamp that. I might still be able to just get in here and there. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a try. So what have we got? Let's do maybe some of these circles. Right, I'm going to stick down on this anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to use this so I can kind of come in at the side. Like I say, it doesn't matter if it's not brilliant. I think I'll just have one on this side, about there. Like that, yeah. Just to add something else to that background. Okay, so to finish that off then, we're going to need the sentiment, but I think I'll get this stuck down onto here first. Now this one's quite a nice fun challenge because I'm using lots of bright colours. Normally when I do these, I do tend to have quite a vintage style, so I do tend to use a lot of vintage colours, so it's quite nice to use something else. But yeah, quite like that. Right, and then for a sentiment, I've got my book out again, so this is one that I use quite often. So it's a quote stickers book. It is made in China. Can't remember if I got this off of Amazon or if it was from AliExpress, one of those. But I think I just typed in, it was either a quote stickers book or a sentiment stickers. There's lots of books very similar to this out there. But what one did I want? Where was it? So I've got here, celebrate the diversity of culture. I didn't want the cultures part, but I might just snip off so it's celebrate the diversity. Because obviously we've got a diverse set of shapes there. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm just going to peel that off. I'm going to snip off cultures. And just so it's even, I'm going to trim it this end as well. And I'm going to put that just straight in the middle, hopefully. Make sure that's straight, kind of. There we go, in the middle of there. Okay, so that is my card. So this was week 47. The prompt this week was geometric shapes. As I said, lots of fun using these kind of colours because they're not colours that I typically use. So it's nice to do something a little bit different, adding some texture there with the gesso. And obviously some texture from the cheesecloth as well, which I do love to use. And then a little bit of stamping just to add some more geometric shapes to the card. Well, I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber, I would really love for you to do so. Please make sure that you also click that bell button. That way you are notified of any new crafty videos. If you're looking for any further inspiration, please hop on over to the Facebook group. Lots of people are posting their cards as well. There is so much inspiration to be had from the wonderful members there. Whether you are looking for index card ideas or just general journal makes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.